Front Row Fans here with Justin for interview number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back again.
back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, actually, back to the beginning. Sadly, Ozzy's last show. Can you share with us your experience from that day?
Me and Zakk, we flew the next day after our Denver show with Pantera, with Metallica. And that was like the last Metallica show. We flew the next day to London and then took a 2-hour van ride to Birmingham, went straight into rehearsals with Oz, you know, and did that in a couple days. And then it was like, then we're at the stadium, did one more rehearsal with Oz, and then the show happened. It was like, it felt like,
flew by then?
Yeah,
You didn't even get to like take it in, or?
It was pretty much like, 36 hours of work for 20 minutes.
Right. I understand. Yeah. So it must have flown by.
But I think just doing the show, I don't think I ever like thought about it until like maybe weeks afterwards. I had people like texting me saying, "I see you on the on the live stream," and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning in London, and it's just like I'm still asleep, and everybody back home is just watching it.
That's amazing. People get to experience that and see it with you, right?
And the whole city of Birmingham, it was very Black Sabbath themed. There were so many there's a couple donut places that had like Black Sabbath themed donuts and coffee, and the whole city would just like came alive for that show.
Wow. So definitely different from all your other show experiences, right?
Yeah, I mean, like when I did the Ozzy Hall of Fame with Zakk too.
Oh, okay.
That was induction. That was that was fun too. But it was like this whole Back to the Beginning show was definitely
special experience.
Special experience. Especially for him being there and singing not just for one band but two. Back to back. So just seeing him do that, whether he was sitting down, is just being able to hear him. Even like when we did the rehearsals, it was like came out and sang those songs, and I'm just like in my head I'm going, holy. This is like happening in front of me, but at the same time too, you kind of have to hold back because you don't want to get too much into it because something could happen. But no, it was just a life, probably a memory I'll remember all my life.
Forever.
So.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
I wish I was there. Unfortunately, I didn't get the tickets as it was limited, but I'm very happy you got to experience that. That's incredible. You mentioned on a recent post that you're playing for your favorite guitar player. Tell us, how did you land a gig with Zakk? How did that happen for you?
It kind of just happened like a year and a half ago for August shows last year with Pantera and Metallica. At the time, Zakk had 2 techs. It was his tech from Black Label, did the guitars, and Grady, who's Dime's tech, does all the amp and the Dime effects and everything.
Oh, okay.
But Zack's tech went to go work for another band, just because Pantera wasn't doing much. But, I just came to fill in, and then all of a sudden it was like, I was getting texts, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? And then now I'm still here,
That's amazing.
But that's another thing too, is like, like just like with the Ozzy show, like Zack's been like one of my guitar heroes since I was little, like, and I have like I'm from North Dakota, and everybody there is always freaking out that this is what I do for a job and this and that. And
very cool.
And but for me, like my family members and all my friends are like, they're more excited about it than I am. Like I'm excited, but it's also like, he's still a person at the end of the day. So,
of course.
But I think when I finally stop doing this, then I'll like finally take it in that like wow, like
I did that.
You guitar tech for your childhood hero as a guitar player, So. No, I'm just enjoying it, very humble and thankful for, Zakk and Barb for always calling me and having me come out. So, it's a fun experience.
It was meant to be. Yeah. I always say, oh, I'm lucky. No, it was meant to be, and you are where you are because you need to be there. So that's an incredible story.
Yeah, it worked out.
On that note, are you a musician? Do you have any projects on the go at the moment or not? Or
I used to play in bands, but I learned how to like build tube amps and
that's cool.
Yeah, and build guitars and stuff like that. But a lot of that stuff I don't use. I mean, I use it, but I don't really build stuff in as much anymore.
Okay,
but
that could be a potential to build your own line.
But I'm just because I do this, so often it's like a lot of times it's like I have guitars, but I don't really play them as much like I used to, But my kids, they love guitar and they play guitar more than I do, And it's always exciting to hear them come back with me, like they like new bands and bands I never heard of or couldn't tell you who they were.
Right.
But some days they'll come to me like, hey, Dad, you ever heard of this band? I'm like, yeah, I listened to them when I was a teenager or kid. And they're like, oh, man, they're so excited. So to see them like excited about the guitar and learning and music in general, is always like a great avenue. for anything.
Connector.
Yeah.
And then you get
So I mean, it's just fun.
Maybe when you're done teching, and maybe you'll get back into it and start rebuilding.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like I actually have like friends bands back home that like they're in cover bands and they're like, hey, you want to come up and play a couple songs? So I'll just like learn the song on the fly and play like like Weezer or something.
Yeah, that's fun. Would you be able to? You know how there's stories sometimes with roadies, they need help or something happens to their main guitar player, they can come in and fill in. Is that something you would do or could do or no? Because there's stories of that too, right? Where someone was a roadie. Or,
I mean, if I put more thought into it, maybe. But I'm
giving you an idea.
It's like for me, like when I'm up there, it's like work mode, and I'm like even when I go to concerts, like I can't go to concerts, sit out in a regular crowd position anymore because now I'm like I will watch the show and either like critique or go, man, I could do this differently, or I wish I was there to help out. You know what I mean? Like there's something. And it's like
you're working all the time. You're trying to improve.
Now it's not a concert anymore. Now it's like going to work. But
that's funny. Tell us about since we're pick collectors, as you know, you have a Crew from Hell pick. Tell us how that came about. Looks really cool.
Oh yeah, I'll get you guys some too. When I took over for Bobby for Rex Tech, I was trying to make a pick for us crew guys. And I was like, I have a friend who's in Toronto. She's a photographer. She works for Godsmack. And shout out to Frankie. But she designs stuff, and I was like, hey, you're better at Photoshop than I am. I was like, I want to make this pic, but with like, or it says, Pantera Crew from Hell and like the Cowboys from Hell logo. And then like, and also on the Cowboys from Hell, the t-shirts, they always had the 4 heads, and the band members. So I was like, let's just put all crew guys on there. So I found
it's great. We love it.
I found like the best photos I could find to use it. So, it was just, commemorate those guys. Like I came in and everybody in there was like really cool and accepting of me, and we all have fun. Everybody has fun, and it's like a tight knit family. Over there. So
it seems like it.
You have to be when you're home away from home. So
well, thank you. That's
no problem. Thank you guys again. It's crazy. I got we did this beginning of the year or something like that on the Zakk Sabbath.
January 15th.
Zakk Sabbath last year in cold Buffalo, snowy.
In cold Buffalo.
And now we're in the warm indoor
a casino in
a casino. Try not to lose our money.
That's right. Well, thank you, Justin.
No, thank you.
And stay tuned for more content.
See you guys next year on the BLS Zakk Sabbath.
That's right.
And Dark Chapel tour, where I'll be doing all 3 bands.
Yeah.
Nothing but coffee.